No, I'm not pausing. I'm just putting my hand over my mouth to give you a visual representation of what my face was like when I saw what you saw a few nights ago, where Auburn found a way to lose to New Mexico State. And I don't mean lose. I mean get their asses handed to them. If you are brand new here, welcome on into the channel. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. So if this is the type of content you enjoy, oh, and by the way, just remember, we have coaching searches coming up. We have the bowl games coming up. We have college football playoffs coming up. We don't have an off season. So if you like this type of content, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. Tell me your thoughts on what was a complete and total belittling of a performance from Auburn on Saturday against New Mexico State. Tell your friends, your family, your sister, your brother. Tell Auburn fans that are ready to jump off the ledge to come watch this video while you're at it as well. And as always, let's continue to talk college football. By the way, if you want to give me a follow on social media, it's at Mr. Cole Thompson on Twitter, and that's also my YouTube handle. So it's very simple. You hit one subscribe button. You might as well hit the other one in the process. Auburn lost to New Mexico State 31-10. Auburn lost to a group of five, New Mexico State, 31-10. It wasn't even close. It was a complete and total bloodbath from kickoff to final whistle, and this is a game that Auburn fans will hold over their head and Alabama fans will relish in for years on end, knowing what's at stake going into Saturday. It was a beatdown. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This was about as ugly, as horrendous, as dismaying as possible. Let me just go ahead and give you the stats real fast. Auburn had 12 first downs against a group of five school. Against an SEC school, New Mexico State had 23. Auburn was 2 of 10 on third down against a group of five school. New Mexico State, against an SEC program, went 6 of 12. Auburn had 213 yards of total offense against a group of five school. New Mexico State had 213 rushing yards against an SEC program. Auburn had a grand total of 65 rushing yards against a group of five school. New Mexico State had 414 total yards. Auburn had the exact same amount of penalties as a group of five school, and they lost the time of possession by a bunch. 38-50 to 21-10 was the final of the time of possession. This was ugly. This was ugly. They had more penalties in the first half. They had worse third down conversion. They were worse on fourth down. They were worse at punting. They were worse at receiving. They couldn't do a damn thing against this New Mexico State team. And I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Jerry Kill is a damn good coach. Jerry Kill has been waiting for this opportunity to get back in the saddle somewhere, and now he has a roster that's playing meaningful football. Oh, and they're playing for something big this week. I'm telling you, they're going to the Conference USA title, and they want to go ahead and beat up on Liberty. That way they end their undefeated season. Oh, yeah, a Liberty team that last year lost with Hugh Freeze at the helm to, you guessed it, New Mexico State. The only difference, one paid a grand total of like $625,000 for them to play against each other. The other one paid nearly $2 million. And the memes that are going around, that's very clear. And the photos and the viral videos of the kids crying, very fair. You literally paid to watch your team get pummeled by a group of five school before you take on your in-state rival. Now, all this is fine and dandy in terms of if you're an Alabama fan, because you're sporadic right now. You paid Tennessee, Chattanooga. You paid Chattanooga, the Mocs, a grand total of, $725,000 to come in and take their L before their season came to a finish because of you realized, you know what, we need to get prepared for Auburn. And here's what happened with Auburn, in my opinion. Auburn got complacent. Auburn started to realize we have a big test ahead. There is an opportunity for us to finish tied for third or maybe fourth in the SEC West with Texas A&M, with maybe an LSU team. We get to 8-4. This is promising for year one underneath our brand new staff. And they looked past this game. And Jerry Kill didn't, and the Aggies didn't. And lo and behold, now this will be one of the most disheartening losses you will ever see in a college football season in SEC play in year one. But here's where I got you Auburn fans to come ahead and listen, okay? So sit on down. Take a cool sip of whatever liquor you're drinking this morning because I know that you're not sober still, and just pay attention. Nick Saban lost year one at the helm to a Louisiana Monroe team, and it was the most embarrassing thing that he ever went through. He's even come out and said multiple times, I don't lose to those type of schools. That was year one. You have the right coach, in my opinion. I believe that Hugh Freeze is going to turn Auburn around for the foreseeable future. But I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it until I'm blue in the face. Auburn is the toughest place to coach in college football. Auburn will always be the toughest place to coach in college football. And it's not because of the resources, and it's not because of the lack of recruiting, and it's not because of all these other abundancies that factor in to you landing the right players and even the right coach. It's because your boosters and because of sometimes you as the fans have glorified expectations. Now, let me get this abundantly clear. You should have won this football game. You should have had your backups in by the start of the fourth quarter, and you should have been preparing for the Iron Bowl. I'm not giving you a pass on that one. But what I am here to say is that Auburn fans, really the boosters, those who control the funds and those who have the yellow woods that allow them to make comments about who gets to run the show, they expect national championships right away. They expect dominance right away. They expect SEC titles, and more specifically, they expect you to be comparable alongside the LSUs, the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Floridas of the world in recruiting and in the wins column. And sometimes that's just not the case. Hugh Freeze is in year one coming from a group of five school at Liberty where he brought some players, but not a lot of players over. He basically completely revitalized this roster via the transfer portal. Go look at how many names they added in, whether that be from Tulsa with Philip Montgomery, whether that be with Ron Roberts from Baylor, whether that be from group of five schools or other Power Five schools. Like they got a kid from North Texas. They got a quarterback from the Big Ten. They redid their entire roster overnight. You were always going to be about an 8-4, 7-5 team. And at worst, you were probably going to be about a 6-6 roster. Welcome to rock bottom. This was the plan for year one. You hold this loss and you put it deep down in your heart, and those who are freshmen will sit there and remember this feeling when fans and boosters and all the message boards were saying, get rid of all these players, start fresh, let everyone leave the plains. They will hold on to this and never want to feel that way again. I'm telling you this because I've seen it unfold before. And lo and behold, guess what happens? A team rises from the ashes and they get their shit together. That's what Auburn can do. Now, Auburn's going to have to make some changes this offseason. I think it's abundantly clear that there are several coaches who will not be brought back. I think it's abundantly clear that there are several names who are going to enter the transfer portal. And I think that Hugh Freeze knows he needs to find a solution at quarterback. I think all of that is on the table right now for the Tigers. But they can do it. And the good news is that if you are an Auburn fan, next year, the playoff moves to 12 teams. So you have to get to 10-2. But if you get to 10-2, you very much are in the running for a spot in the postseason. And lo and behold, once you get there, everything can go sporadic. We've seen crazier things happen before. Like TCU last year goes on an epic run. They barely skeet by on the skin of their teeth or the skin of their scales, if we want to put it that way, over everybody except Kansas State. And then they find a way to beat up on Michigan. A Michigan team that looked much more complete than the one that's at hand this year. That team. And they beat them. So you can do whatever you want in the playoffs. All you have to do is have a little bit of luck and a little bit of star power on your side. And Auburn can have both. We've seen it before. We've seen the miracle of Jordan-Hare. We've seen the kick six. We've seen it all with Auburn. Auburn has been one of the luckiest teams of all time. But this loss, yeah, you hold on to it. And Hugh Freeze is definitely going to hold on to it. He's going to harbor. He's going to fester. He's going to let it ferment in his back part of his brain for as long as humanly possible. And he kind of has to, because that was embarrassing. Plain and simple, it was. But for boosters who want him fired, you're not paying the buyout. You're not doing it. You're not getting rid of him year one. I know there's people who said you don't lose to a New Mexico State team. Okay, then do it. But you're not going to. So what you have to do is harbor this feeling. And I'm telling you right now, everybody in that locker room, everybody in that coaching staff, everybody who is in that athletic department will have this layered over their head for as long as humanly possible, probably the rest of their career. And they will either make it or they will be broken because of it. You're not firing Hugh Freeze after year one. And Auburn fans, you just keep drinking, because I know that next week is going to be very challenging for you if you do the exact same thing. But just remember, the guy you're playing on Saturday lost to Louisiana Monroe in year one. Look at what he's been able to do since. Maybe this is the wake-up call that you actually need, that this is going to send you back over the top, and maybe, just maybe, to realistic goals that you have. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.